Sorry guys, I won't be able to use any footage from the trailer or the movie because Warner Brothers hates me. So, here's Surf gameplay in the background. I hope you enjoy it. I just watched The Suicide Squad, and let's just say it was interesting. I'm not particularly a big DC guy, I'm more of a Marvel man myself, but I skipped Birds of Prey, Aquaman, and also the Snyder Cut. But I was interested in this one because it looked different. And let's just say it was interesting. Before I get started, this is a spoiler warning for the Suicide Squad. If you haven't seen it, maybe watch it or not. I do not really care. Right off the bat, the opening of this movie's vibe was Robot Chicken. You know, the show that's on at 1 a.m. on Adult Swim? Like, it directly reminded me of a Robot Chicken episode. It was non-stop jokes and senseless violence and gore, which I immediately thought was very cool. It also didn't erase the context of the last movie, but more continued it in a very subtle way. The opening sequence also really highlights how expendable these characters are. The first Suicide Squad all dies in horrible ways, except for Harley. This really showcased the point of the Suicide Squad in that their lives are meaningless for the mission. Another great thing I liked about the opening was that it skipped the montage bullshit from the first one, you know, where they're introducing everyone with overly played music.
Harley Quinn.
That was extremely annoying. Now, after you pass the 30-minute mark of the movie, the comedy becomes quite tiring. It felt so overly forced and shoved down your throat at that point. The jokes just became annoying. Thankfully, they lay off the jokes more as the movie progresses, but I definitely got tired of them very quickly. Another thing that happens after the 30-minute mark is you start to notice how dumb some of this shit is. For instance, the main Suicide Squad invades a base with Rick Flag in it because Amanda Waller thought he was captured by the enemy, but he wasn't. It was actually a peaceful base that the Suicide Squad massacred in ridiculous ways. But couldn't Amanda Waller communicate with him? His communicator isn't broken, and you can see everyone else communicate with her, so why couldn't he say something and be like, hey, these guys are peaceful and I'm not leaving the mission? But no. Another problem with the rest of the movie is that you learn absolutely nothing about half the team. Sure, you know stuff about Harley Quinn and learn stuff about Bloodsport and Ratcatcher, but you only learn that King Shark wants to eat people, John Cena is like Captain America if he had no morals, and Polka Dot Man wants to fucking kill his mom. I can't believe that sentence came out of my mouth. The whole team doesn't really bond very well, but they bonded much better than the group in the last movie. Also, why is Harley Quinn in this? She does absolutely nothing. And I think the whole reason she is in these movies is to sell tickets, because no one else in this movie is really that well known of a character. She has no abilities. She does have some girl boss scenes though. Now, some other things I did like is how some of the shots were a lot more artsy and creative, and how the info text, I don't know what else to call it, would come up in cool ways, but that's like 1% of the whole movie. Also, Star was kind of cool. I honestly think this movie struggles in what it wants to be. Sure, it wants to be this action-packed movie, but it also wants to be a dark comedy, and you get scenes that are overly comedic and it's annoying, or parts that are overly action, which can be quite dull and poor paced. This movie clearly is an improvement from the last one. It was kind of reminiscent of Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously because James Gunn directed both of these. But it's nothing like Guardians. Believe me, Guardians is a much better movie. Overall, this movie is like a 5.5 out of 10, and that's a big improvement over the last one, which is clearly a 1 out of 10. With that being said, I would rather watch this movie 1,000 times over again before watching the old one again. I fully believe that.